Okay, there's a lot to get through. So, first off, peace talks are always great. It, it is the best way to resolve issues with any kind of adversary, enemy, whatever. You don't get to peace through bombing the opposition to extinction. That's just not how it works. So, peace talks are obviously a fantastic thing, and it is good in essence that Trump is sitting down with North Korea and talking to them. But the praise he's getting is incredibly unjustified, and at this point is nonsensical. So what do I mean by that? I mean, first off, since taking office, Trump has done nothing but insult his allies. Whether it's, in fact, he started insulting Mexico before he even took office. But he's insulted Mexico, Canada, the UK. He's actually, in my opinion, made an attack on the UK by raising pharmaceutical prices, meaning that our NHS has to pay more to buy the drugs from America. Now, this isn't just an issue with Trump. This is also an issue with Theresa May and Jeremy Hunt, that they are allowing that and not actually investing in British pharmaceutical companies or pharmaceutical companies from Europe. So that's a massive issue, and it's not just Trump on that, but Trump is a leading factor in that because Theresa May just follows what he does. But while he's been insulting his allies, he's been praising endlessly his adversaries, his opponents. When it comes to Russia, there was a very short space of time when he was actually being a little bit tough on Russia, saying that he was going to re-implement the sanctions that he stopped. But of course he didn't actually follow through with this. This was all talk, and when you actually look into it, people from the Trump administration who said about putting these sanctions back on to Russia actually got into a lot of trouble from Trump because they reminded people of what he had said. Yeah, that's the American president. Sitting down with North Korea, again, in essence, is good. However, he's not the only person in history that North Korea have reached out to. They've reached out to Obama, to Bush, and many governments across the world. But the reason why no one has really sat down with Kim Jong-un is because it legitimizes a disgusting dictatorship. There are literal death camps in North Korea. The people are starving to death. So world leaders sitting down with the leader of North Korea legitimizes that, which is what they've wanted. Secondly, this deal that Trump has got, praising Kim Jong-un is ridiculous, but I understand diplomacy, you'd have to do some kind of give or take, but that's not what he's done. Again, to a dictator, he's just bent over and started begging for it. Now, when it comes to the actual deal that is with North Korea, the denuclearization, what Michael Pompeo is now saying is incredibly different to what Trump said at the time and to what Kim Jong-un has said through state media in North Korea. The idea that Mike Pompeo is pushing forward is that North Korea will stop nuclear testing, nuclear development, and then they'll pull out the troops and everything else, which would be good. But that's not what Trump said at the time, and it's not the impression that North Korea has walked away with. What North Korea is pushing for is saying the deal resulted in is America will pull its troops, they'll pull the threat of military action, they'll essentially stand down, and maybe at some point in the future North Korea will consider denuclearizing. That's what Trump said at the time. That's what North Korea have walked away with, and that's what South Korea have said and are pissed off at, and it's what Japan has said and are pissed off at. So you now have three countries completely contradicting one mouthpiece of the United States. From a man, or coming from the top of a man, who is known to be a pathological liar. So again, you can easily find out why Trump does things by looking at monetary value to him. He moved the Israeli embassy into Jerusalem because he got a massive payout from Sheldon Adelson. He ripped up the Iran deal, which was a fantastic deal given bullshit reasons because of John Bolton, who's a massive warmonger who will make a massive profit starting another war. He seemingly surrounded himself with yes men and people who thrive on war but who would never actually enlist themselves. So, looking at the North Korea deal, all Trump is really saying now is that he's interested in buying real estate. That's what it all comes down to. And when you look at the actual deal, there is less details in this than deals that have been made with North Korea in previous administrations. The Obama administration had a few more details, which, quite frankly, any details at this point would be something. But ripping up the deal with Iran, saying it was awful, and then praising this deal with North Korea that has no definition to it whatsoever, no specifics, is idiotic. It is flat out stupid to praise Trump at this point. The simple fact is, Trump is a buffoon who is only acting in his best interest. If you're a Trump fan at this point, I'm sorry, but you're a moron. And if you're not, and you're in America, then you should be standing up and screaming for impeachment. One last little bit I want to end with, because this is fairly important. Trump's hatred towards people like Colin Kaepernick for kneeling during the American national anthem at the start of games is, well, first off, it's fucking stupid. But it exploded everywhere. You had the president attacking athletes for protesting, for exercising their First Amendment right. And yet, what did he do? What is being run all over the place right now in North Korea? Donald Trump, the same person who is insulted every NFL member for kneeling during the national anthem, which is not insulting whatsoever. The man who forgot the words to the national anthem has saluted a foreign general. Now look, means nothing just saying it. You'd think, oh, okay, well, why not? But turns out, no, that's actually a pretty big insult to everyone who serves in the American Armed Forces. It's actually a genuine insult to every single one of them. The president is not allowed to salute any member of any foreign army, any foreign armed forces. It's just one of those little rules, like you can't fly the American flag. You can't use the American flag as clothing because that's disrespectful. Kneeling is not disrespectful at all. I want to be perfectly clear about that. And the reason why Colin Kaepernick started kneeling is because he actually met with veterans who said sitting out for the national anthem is a bit disrespectful. Let's work on what you can do so you can still protest what's going on in America. And that's why they came to kneeling. It's not disrespectful whatsoever. But saluting a foreign, I believe it was a foreign general, saluting any member of a foreign armed services is disrespectful. But what do you expect from a man who does absolutely no research on anything because he's a fucking idiot?